Alright everyone, you're here to see the deck that got me to Infinite in only 4 days this season. And yes, it was using a Silver Surfer deck, and yes, it was only 4 days that it took for me to get to Infinite this season. So, this card right here was recently nerfed actually. He is a 3-2 now, he used to be a 3-0, but his current on reveal is to give all 3-cost cards plus 2 power on the board, which is pretty strong as a finisher, which is why we have a lot of 3-cost cards in the deck. Although before the nerf, he used to be a 3-0 that would give plus 3 power to everything, which was even stronger. I still think he's very viable right now, and a lot more people are starting to use him and realizing how good he is. So let's get right into the deck and see how it works. Alright, first card, we have Nova as our only 1-cost card. When this is destroyed, give your other cards plus 1 power. Very strong if you blow him up final turn. He'll hit all of your cards on the board with plus 1 power. Very helpful. However, I don't recommend that you play him on turn 1 because it can give your opponent information that you have something like Killmonger, so they'll be very cautious with their 1-cost cards. And they can also block it with armor or destroy it early with their own Killmonger. Or maybe Elektra if they're using Elektra for some reason. But yeah, most of the time you want to play Nova on turn 4 along with another 3-cost card. That's definitely I've found that to be the best time to play Nova. So next up we have 2-cost cards in this deck actually. Mostly to give us a turn 2 play. And if we don't have Sarah by turn 5, we can play a 2-cost card with another 3-cost card so we don't lose out on any of that extra energy. The first 2-cost we have here is actually Scorpion. He's a 2-2 and his on reveal is to give the cards in your opponent's hand minus 1 power. This can, however, be countered by things like Luke Cage, so you have to watch out for that. Overall, it's a great card. He gets a lot of value if they have a lot of cards in their hand. Also, if you play him on Kamar Taj or Cloning Vats, you can get a lot more of those minus 1 ticks on them. That can actually add up a lot. If you don't want to use Scorpion in your deck, you can use something like Goose, who's also a 2-2, but Goose will restrict the cards the opponent can play there, which will mean they cannot play any 4-cost, 5-cost, or 6-cost cards in that location. So what I would recommend is to try out Scorpion. If you play too many Shuri decks in particular, you can swap in Goose, and Goose will be able to help you limit what the Shuri players can play because they like to play a lot of high-cost cards like Red Skull, Taskmaster, sometimes Zola. They can't play any of those cards in that lane that you play Goose at. Alright, next up, we do have Lizard in this deck. He's just an overall great card for value. He's only 2 cost and gives 5 power. However, his ongoing is minus 3 power if your opponent puts 4 cards here. So a lot of the time, they will try to contest this lane and fill it with at least 4 cards just to give you that minus 3. But if they do that and they try to contest it with any 1-cost cards, you can actually destroy those and get your plus 5 power back with Killmonger. Because Killmonger is a 3-3 and he will destroy all 1-cost cards on the board. So this will destroy your Nova and give you that plus 1 power to all your cards from Nova, but he will also destroy all the 1-cost cards your opponent has. So very strong against Zoo style decks or some of those Thanos decks that like to have the stones on the board. Very strong, especially once they get that power stone down in Thanos decks and they try to get that plus 20 or whatever power the Thanos is, you can take that away if you destroy the power stone. So very strong against those types of decks. And giving yourself, even if they don't have any of those 1-cost cards on the board, you can still play Killmonger to destroy your Nova and get that extra power. Very good card for the deck. Next up, we do have Brood. And Brood will add 2 other Broodlings at the same power, 3-2, to this location. Very strong card for filling lanes. Very good with Surfer because it's 3 things that you can buff with that plus 2 power. And with Nova, you can buff 3 things there with that plus 1 power. Very strong card overall. You can definitely catch your opponents off guard final turn. If you have 1 card in a lane, they think you're not gonna be able to win that. and you drop Brood there and fill that lane, and then hit it with the Surfer and maybe the Nova, you can give them a pretty large power swing they won't expect. You can also use this to get rid of your opponent's Lizard and give them the -3 power that they get from that Lizard's ongoing, if they don't expect that either. Next up, we do have Mr. Fantastic in the deck. He's very good for contesting those locations that are where you can't play any cards there, even things like Plunder Castle that you can't contest with this deck because you don't have any 6-cost cards. So Mr. Fantastic is a 3/2, and his ongoing is to give the locations next to him +2 power. Very strong, especially if you can get him down on any of those locations that are like that double your ongoing abilities to give +4 to the locations next to him. Maybe even contesting Space Throne a little bit, add more power there because you can only have one card there. You can contest, it's just very strong to contest all the lanes at the same time. A lot of the time you can steal priority by playing this on turn 3 and having 2 power on all the lanes. Alright, now the star of the deck is Silver Surfer. We already went over him a little bit, but he's a 3/2. He'll give all of your 3-cost cards +2 power. Very strong. You almost always want to play him on turn 6. Maybe if you see a Leech coming, you can play him earlier if you have enough 3 costs down. Most of the time, if you have at least Brood down, that's still a pretty good amount of value from him since that's 3 cards to buff, if you end up needing to play him early for some reason. On top of that, if you have those good locations like Kamar Taj or Sinister London to get more of those Surfer swings, those are very, very good for you. Next up, we have Storm. Storm will flood the location, and after the next turn, no more cards can be played there. Honestly, this card has stolen me a lot of 8-cube games just because if someone sees Limbo on the board or they put Limbo on the board, they assume that there's going to be a turn 7. So they don't really put down very much power on turn 6 because they're setting up for turn 7. But if you play Storm on Limbo on turn 6, it will take away the extra turn and give you those 8 cubes for that win. So you can normally tell if your opponent is going to play Limbo because most of the time, decks that like to have magic in there to put the Limbo on the board would be things like negative decks, and sometimes those Shuri decks that like to have big power swings on turn 7. But if you notice that they're not a deck that would normally have magic in it to add Limbo to the game, you can honestly play Storm on 3 if you have Brood in hand, and then playing Brood on 4 and maybe Nova down on another location just to fill up that energy, because you normally like to have Nova down on 4. Brood and Storm just on that location is pretty hard for them to contest unless they have a very big card, maybe Dracula or Red Skull from Shuri. But on 4, they normally won't have Red Skull down. So yeah, you could normally get a free lane by playing Storm and then Brood. They're either forced to contest it or give it up because they only have one turn to play on that lane. And after you have that lane filled up with 3-cost cards, you buff them all with Surfer and Nova later and get a lot more power there. And it's pretty hard for them to contest. Next up, we have Cosmo. Cosmo is one of the best counters in the game in my opinion. His ongoing is that on reveal abilities will not happen here. This is very good for countering things like Galactus. I've even had it sometimes counter Kang, where they try to play Kang and it blocks his ability. The opponent normally just leaves if that happens. But yeah, anything that's on reveal, this will block it. If you can see something like Electro or any signs of Galactus, like an open lane where they play Hobgoblin or something like that, you can play Cosmo there and he will completely stop their Galactus plans. And he can also help you out because you have things like Maximus in this deck that you'll see later, which has a negative on reveal. If you play it on the Cosmo lane, that won't really affect you at all. Alright, so next we have Polaris, who is a 3/5, very good stat line. Whose on reveal is she will move an opposing 1 or 2 cost card to this location. This is very good to play on things like Space Throne turn 3 and try to move one of your opponent's cards there that they don't want there, since you can only have 1 card on Space Throne. You can also move your opponent's armor away from whatever they're trying to protect. maybe it's like a Sunspot or a big card, anything like that. That can normally mess them up. If they have something like Bucky down on the field that they want to destroy, you can try to move it away before they destroy it. Or you can try to Cosmo that lane and block their destroying plans there. Alright, next we have probably, I'd say, this card is the best card in the deck, in my opinion. He has the highest power swing that we can put on the board, aside from Brood, who takes up 3 spots. But Maximus is a 3/7, and his on reveal is supposed to be negative, but it just makes your opponent draw 2 cards. If you notice that your opponent plays down something like Psylocke or sometimes Zabu on turn 2, and you think they're going to be a negative deck, you play Maximus on turn 3 and make them draw those cards before the negative pops. That's 2 more cards that won't get hit by that Mr. Negative. If you don't want them to have that ability, again, you can put it on the Cosmo lane wherever you put down Cosmo. He won't give them any of those cards, and you get that 3/7 for free, basically. Very big card for Surfer decks here. Alright, next is our only 5-cost card, and that is Sarah. What she does is she has an ongoing where cards in your hand cost 1 less at a minimum of 1. This allows us to play 3 3-cost cards down on turn 6, which is very strong. Sometimes you can play her down on the locations that double your ongoing abilities and make all those 3-cost cards cost 1, and you can play even more cards down on turn 6 for more power. Sometimes though, if your opponent tries to play down a Leech early, you might not want to put down Sarah on 5, and you might want to get down your Killmonger or any of those on reveals you want to use before getting leeched. If it's a Thanos deck and you expect the Leech, you just want to get those cards down earlier instead of playing Sarah down and then having all your cards get leeched, so your final turn play is not very strong. Overall, this deck is very strong, and I'm about to show you how it works. Let's get right into these games. Alright, first game, let's see how it goes. You always want to check at the beginning of the match to see if they have Thanos. So this guy is not Thanos, you can see by the deck size. Bar Sinister is actually really good for us here. We're going to pass on 1 though. If we can get Surfer down on Bar Sinister, that would be amazing. We can also fill it with Nova and then Killmonger it. And then we could also Surfer after that. So let's see what this guy tries to do. Oh, okay, he just left. Awesome. Great first match. I don't know if I'm gonna include that one, but it's kind of funny. So let's get into the next one. Alright, next match. We got this guy. Not Thanos. You always gotta make sure to check that size of the deck before anything else. Okay, so Death's Domain is pretty good because we can destroy Nova for free right there. We can also contest that with Brood because it will only destroy the first Brood and leave the 2 Broodlings there. We got Scorpion here. I don't really like playing things on the unrevealed locations anymore. I've had too many times where my Scorpion or Lizard is just stuck there on Space Throne, so I don't really do that anymore. So let's just get our Scorpion down turn 2. He didn't play anything, so we're hitting all the cards in his hand with -1. We could... I think we might just play Polaris for the power right here. Sewer System will move, so that's fine. He's waiting until turn 4 to play anything. That's kind of weird to me. Turn 4. I do want to get Nova down this turn, but I'm trying to decide if we're gonna play Brood here. Or we could storm this. We could storm it and then play something else there. I don't really know what this guy's going to do though. Or I could storm the left and keep Death's Domain there. I think we'll just play Brood and then Nova that. I think that'll be okay. It's probably not the best, but it'll be fine. I'm okay with that, because he doesn't really have anything down right now. Psylocke? This could be a negative deck, who just didn't draw anything early. But turn 5, I'm not sure what he can really do here. We can just go Fantastic and then Lizard. Or we could go... Yeah, I think we go Lizard on the right here. I don't know, maybe Galactus? It could be Galactus. Yeah, it's Galactus. So, I don't really remember the power. We do have the deck tracker though. It's a lot of power. I'm not gonna retreat because I want to see how this plays out. Sometimes I would say to retreat here, but he only destroyed 1 power according to the deck tracker. We got rid of Fantastic, Broodlings, so what, that's 6, 7, 8 from Scorpion. I mean, +1s on that. I don't know if he can beat this with Null. Or maybe Death Null. But let's just see how it plays out. It's probably Death and Null. Or just 1 card, probably Null. Oh, it's Kang. So he's just gonna leave. If the rewind turn thing comes up, we'll see. Oh, okay. It just... Yeah, he left. He left already. It said opponent retreated. I think. I'm pretty sure it did. Did he just get the game stuck? So he did retreat. We beat the Galactus deck. That was a pretty weird match, honestly. Alright, here we have Quantum Realm, that's fine. If we get something like Brood, it doesn't really affect us there. We could put Nova there and get the extra 1 power, but I'm not going to play Nova turn 1. Let me check, it's not a Thanos deck, so that's something to know. We can play Lizard somewhere. I'm going to play Lizard in the middle, because if we can get Killmonger and kill these, they're not going to have 4 cards there. If they try to fill it up with that in mind. I mean, we could also Polaris that away. This Camp Lehigh place is actually pretty good for us. It gives us a free 3-drop. I don't know if we're actually going to play out Gambit, but you never know. This guy hasn't played anything. I might just Polaris the Ninja over here and see what it does. Let's see what he plays. Cosmo? That's from camp, yeah, so we still don't know what this guy's playing. I think I'm gonna go Brood and... We're gonna go Brood Nova here. That's fine for us on Quantum Realm. I'm not sure what this guy's playing. We're having some weird matches today where people aren't playing anything out on the early turns. Alright, let's see. It's something that he doesn't want the unreveal for, so... Oh, never mind, it's Darkhawk. We could just... I think we just Sarah here. We can play more cards down. Turn 6. He's not gonna have Leech. Normally when I see a Darkhawk deck, you know that they just don't have Leech, so it's safe to put down Sarah and not worry about that. Dino. That's fine. Unfortunately, we did not draw Surfer, but we can do something like this. We get the power from Mr. Fantastic. We take away the -2. We also take away his -2 here, so he'll go up to 9. So we're tied there. We're adding 3. So that's what, like 12 to 9 if he doesn't play anything. We add a little bit of power from Nova. Over here, we're only adding, we'll be at 8 still, because Nova's going to be gone, plus 3. We're not going to win that lane. I don't really see what else we can do. We could play Gambit. Do we want to play Gambit? We could. We could just throw away that location, and we could do Gambit Killmonger. Do we want to? I would have normally done Cosmo, but I kind of just want to see... I'll donate him cubes, why not? I want to see what Gambit hits. Maybe it'll hit something good for us. Or he has another Cosmo, which is not good for us. Oh, well, we go first anyways. We had priority. Kill the Dino. Kill the Dino. Yes! Oh, he's gotta be so mad. He's gotta be so mad about that. What's he gonna play? Yep, nothing and nothing. Easy 8 cubes. I guess Camp Lehigh kind of popped off for us there. The Gambit just killed a Dino. Easy. Alright, let's get into the next match here. Clean 8 cubes. Alright, next guy. It's not Thanos. I don't really... Alright, nothing on turn 1. We have Scorpion for turn 2. A Quinjet deck. That's interesting. We can consider Killmongering the Quinjet early, but I'm not sure if we want to. I don't really care if Scorpion dies to Danger Room. If not, that's fine. Korg. Could be a bounce deck. Beast bounce. Yeah, Scorpion just dies. I mean, we can just Killmonger both of those still. I'm gonna storm this location. If we don't pull Brood, we could just Maximus there and hope it's enough power. We can also move those cards away on turn 6 if we lose that lane. But I'm gonna assume he's trying to contest for the Hulks here. For Gamma Lab. Or he's just gonna pass. That's weird. He might have She-Hulk. I don't see... I can't really figure out what kind of deck this guy's running. I think I just Maximus here and try to win it. I don't really care if he draws anything. Okay, so he has Darkhawk. We can probably beat that Darkhawk here, actually. I will play Sarah. Yeah, I think we'll play Sarah and hope we hit Surfer. If we don't hit Surfer, this is going to look like a loss for us. Yep, Dino's dead. I think... Yeah, okay, he's gone. I don't know why he tried to put Dino on Danger Room. Alright, another free game. Alright, next match. This guy has the old infinite thing. It is Thanos this time. You can tell by the deck size there. So yeah, we're playing against Thanos this time. We're not gonna Nova. Central Park could be good for this guy if he has a destroy deck Thanos type of deck. Alright, our Storm is 4 now. I'm just not going to play out Nova yet. I don't want him to know that we have Killmonger. He has the Power Stone down. That's one of our main targets here with Killmonger. Okay. I'm going to Mr. Fantastic. If possible, I like to get him down turn 3 as much as I can. Okay, so he just Killmongered everything on his own. I don't know what he's doing here. It's probably a destroy deck. He has death for free then, if he's playing it that way. I think we want to get down Brood and Nova. I think we can just do this and this, just to spread it out. Wave. I don't know, this guy has a pretty weird deck. Or it's probably, oh wait, no, it's not. Can he play Death and She-Hulk right now? He probably could. He definitely can, but I don't know why he did that a turn early. They normally wait. We could put down... I want to put down Maximus just for the power. Just have to decide which lane it's gonna go to. We can go middle. I think we'll go middle with Maximus here. I don't know, could be Kang, Leech. That's unfortunate. He hit our Surfer and our Killmonger. This is looking like a loss for us. I don't know. We probably don't want to stay in here. I don't know why he waved into Leech. That's kind of weird to me. He has to have Death. I'm assuming he can play Death for free. Maybe he can't play She-Hulk. I don't know, we could win this. We could pull that. Then just put down 3 power. I don't think we win this. There's no way we win this. But I want to see what he does. Okay. Yeah, Death and Thanos. Yeah, so if we didn't get leeched, we could have won that, but I should have assumed that he was gonna play Leech. It just threw me off that he waved into Leech. That's probably the weirdest play I've ever seen by a Thanos player. He could have just not played the wave and then played Leech. Alright, next game. It is not Thanos. Okay, so here we have both 2-drops, and we have to decide which one we're going to play on turn 2. Okay, that's very good. I'm going to play the Scorpion. Probably on the left here. That's very good for us. So with Brood getting that buff, the Broodlings will also be at 4 power. Well, now 3. But that doesn't really matter for us. I don't know why he did that. I'm gonna move that into negative zone. Do we snap here? I don't really want to snap on these games because I want you guys to see all the matches play out. I did snap on that game before for the 8 cubes. But I do want you guys to see all these games play out past turn 6. I don't want people to retreat. Alright, he's got that negative power from that Scorpion now. 0 into Lizard. Yep. Okay, that's perfect for Brood. Alright, right now, seeing this, I would probably snap. It could be a Shuri deck though. So let's see what they do. If it's Shuri, I wouldn't snap, but it's like a 50-50 if I would snap here. Let's see what he plays. If it's Shuri... Oh, it's not. Okay, so I would just snap immediately. But I'm not going to snap because I don't want him to leave. Yeah, I would just snap this match. This is looking like a win. Because what is he going to play? Red Skull? Because this Mirror Island is very good for our Brood. That's fine, we can still play 2 3-cost cards here. So that's another thing with Sarah, we can still play 2 cards if they wave us. Yeah, they just lose. I don't know. They can't really do anything here. I think we could just stack here. Yeah. That would have been an easy snap. More cubes, but we don't really need cubes. This is just for information for you guys to see how the games play out. So I don't know what he's gonna do. He'll probably retreat. Let's see what he plays there. Because it's gonna have to contest. Okay, it's Doom. Doom can win the right, yeah? Oh, I guess not. Okay, we win by 1 because we have more cards there. So the Killmonger basically just won us that game. He probably thought that the Doom bots were gonna win it for him. He probably didn't expect the Killmonger to kill his cards. And we got that extra 1 power for having 1 extra card here, and it just won us the game. Alright everyone, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see more Marvel Snap videos. This is my first Marvel Snap video, and it was actually a lot of fun to make, so if this video performs well, I'll probably make some more, just because of how fun they are to make, and I actually enjoy this game a lot. I would really appreciate it if you guys gave this video a like to show that you enjoyed it, and leave some comments down below about what you want to see more of. If you want to see more Surfer decks, I've been working on some other Surfer decks. If you want to see some other decks in Marvel Snap or even any other games, just let me know. Let me know what you thought about this video, and thank you again for watching, and see you next time.